Being a housewife in our society is usually believed to entail cooking, cleaning, shopping, and taking care of the house and children, of course. With this, it is believed that little or no regard is given to them, unlike their counterparts, the career women, like Jumoke and Co. Another school of thought thinks they do not contribute much to their household and generally to the society. So we ask, is there really a problem in being a full-time housewife? Joining us on the show is the Lagos housewife, Motunrayo Abe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
This topic is really close to my heart because there was a female pastor that I really liked, well, somewhat liked. And when she now spoke, that against being a housewife, that's when I just shut her off. Because that moment, she just totally, I just cut it off immediately because I felt disrespected that a woman would make a housewife feel less. But when we now brought out the conversation with women, people actually do feel that being a housewife is not the right thing for a woman to do, especially in the 21st century. So before I hear your views, let me not come to you first because I know we know your stand, you're a housewife. But let me get dissenting views on the issues of being a housewife. Let me come to, do you want to start, Larry? What are your views?
I started off being a housewife when I first got married.
Right.
And for a very long time, I wanted to stay because I actually conceived 3 months after I got married. But the husband that I had was wicked financially. Yeah. And it made me feel, no, there's no, you know.
What does wicked financially mean?
When he is financially abusive, you want
stingy.
Stingy is even a mild word for what he was. He was financially abusive.
Okay, right.
He would try to use money to control.
Yes, gotcha.
And I knew I had skills, I had talent. So at times, women stay at home when they are given the ability and the freedom to stay at home.
Right. Yes.
When the man can take the responsibility. Right. In this century now, we know that it takes a double income household to run a household.
Right.
Yes. But if your husband can do it by himself, it's better for a woman to be at home to raise the kids and instill the right values till they, it's so important. And I realized this because when I went back with the kids in 2015, I'd been like their daddy for so long, daddy and mommy, caregiver and breadwinner. Right. But the time I spent with them in 2015, when it was just me and them, it made such a huge difference.
Okay, let me come to Chokwe on this matter. We all agree it's important to stay with kids, but the reality of the times is that
it's not possible.
We need that double income. Let me come to you, Chokwe.
Our culture has consistently evolved. Every culture has evolved, and the evolution is in response to the circumstances around us. So there was a time when it was proper for women to be full-time housewives. The time right now isn't calling for that sort of, so we need to be, women need to be smarter and evolve with the times. You can't be using the mindset of our parents to run now. You can't be using the 20th century to run now. So you need to upgrade yourself, which is why I'm impressed. And I say you're a different kind of housewife. Now, for a woman, our priorities are different. Our priorities and we have different phases. There's a time when you're a young babe, all you need to do is just look good and attract. But then you get into the phase of being a married woman when you need to nurture your household. And if you have those priorities right, you need to enter that phase of where your focus will be on your family and not exactly on career. During that phase, you must be smart to make money also.
Let me come to our guest now. Tell us a bit about yourself and how you took the decision to become a housewife.
Okay. Actually, it was something I've always wanted to do. Right from when I was younger, I always used to say I'll never walk outside the home. Okay. It's something when I met my husband, I was working in Hilton in Abuja. Or when he proposed, I told him something. I said, I'll never walk outside the home. This one is just because I'm not married yet. But the moment we marry, I said, so if you want a career woman, you better look somewhere else. It won't be me. And it was like, okay, he doesn't mind and things like that. He runs his own business, so it's kind of convenient. But at the same time, you know, there's this thing in each one of us that needs something to do. I loved being at home. I didn't conceive on time. I had fertility issues. But after I had my son, and then what led me to this cooking path, which was what gave birth to Lagos Housewife, was my son had a serious allergy to crayfish when he started eating solid foods and everything. So when he started school, I was like paranoid about being what he eats. I didn't want him eating in school and everything. So I started, and then I started posting up pictures about food, and people started asking for meal recipes, and it evolved from there. But even before then, the funny thing was, when he started school, I had a lot of time on my hands. I was restless. I needed to do something. Just sitting at home and not doing anything was really getting to me. So I kept on praying, God, I need something to do. God, I need something to do. And you know, it wasn't as if God just answered and said, do this. But searching for something to do, I started posting up food like pictures, and it just evolved from there.
So you are now working from home?
Yes.
Okay, let me come to you.
For me, I believed in, a lot of things informed my decision on whether to work or not growing up. So for me, I believed in being me. I believed in, you know, achieving stuff for myself. Yes. I believed in having my own persona. I didn't want to be somebody's wife
or somebody's
mother. I wanted to be BC Ubo. Be me first and raise kids that will look at mommy's work ethic and say, okay, I see mommy as a role model. My daughter looks at me today and say, mommy, I'd like to be a rapper like you. She's not looking at a Nicki Minaj.
Yes.
She's looking at a woman who is doing this and doing that and seeing that she has time for the home, she has time to follow up on, and she sees, I want to be like you. So that gives me joy that I am being myself, because why did I make these decisions? I grew up having parents around who did nothing but just raise these kids. And when the kids moved out, got married, they were bored, they had time to go harassing daughter-in-laws and son-in-laws because they were bored.
I guess I've always had I'll come to you, Lady. Okay. I've always had this dream of being a housewife as a child. Yes. Now that you mentioned it, it just occurred to me. Because growing up, my mother was a successful businesswoman. She was hardly around. Today she was going to India, tomorrow. She was always away. But my stepmother was always around. We go to her house on the weekends. She was there cooking, cleaning, you know, and I just enjoyed the fact that she was there. Okay. So I've always had that desire, because in my life, I'm like, I wish I never had to work. So I always admired women who were home. But before I come to you, like, let me hear from Nima.
In the case of woman's poisons and other women's,
yes.
Really. Experiencing financial freedom when I started business at 16, I knew from day one, no matter how much you provided, I want my own. I just knew from day one. Because I remember when we got married early, my husband he made the provision, and if I was content, I would be fine. But I needed drive. I would just sit at home and be bored. I would become restless. It's almost like I want to be at home 24 hours. The thing I'm most proud of is being a mother, because I knew what I had to go through to get a child. So I'm very proud of being a mother, but I just know. Life will just not, it almost seem like I'm just not living.
I came from a mother who had always worked. Her husband too always worked. And she had 8 children. 8.
How did she manage?
Her mother was a very rich woman.
Okay.
As Fadeka is borning these babies, they are sending people to her to babysit. Yes. My mother was so professional. Right. It was unbelievable. But like what you said, there's a part of it that lacks when you are working. You don't have the nurture that you want. Right. Because my mom was so busy. Apart from being a teacher, principal, and everything, she had clothing business, she had a jewelry business, buying pret-a-porter clothes for kids, and all that. But when you have fever, before you see mommy come into your room and say, "Pele, my dear."
What happens to delegating?
Delegating
you can't
what?
delegate
No.
that.
Let me explain.
You can't.
No, not
So,
delegating
you
for your
can't
kids. No, delegating your work so you can. I think it's all about
see,
balance.
It's about
that's the thing.
balance. It's about balance.
Yes, you can prioritize.
The challenge of life is when I keep hearing my money, and I understand because some people don't have that luxury. You know, your money is where a woman's finance, the contribution to the household is essential to that house being afloat.
Yes.
In those cases, I of course would in no way pick any issue with a woman saying that I want to work and then my children might suffer a bit. But there is a period in the life of a child where you must focus on that child as opposed to you having your
so
own
I think
money.
we're all practically saying the same thing.
What I'm saying now is that a lot of women are not able to make that decision because they are living in their marriage with the background of what they got from their parents. So you're not dealing with your husband with an open mind of, let me ask my husband, what should we do in this situation as a family? What you're doing is, my mommy worked all her life. My daddy did not give my mommy money. So if I don't have my own money, I will be dependent on my husband. I don't want the same thing to happen to me.
It's not so.
You should make your own
let me hear
decision
your
based
views
on
on this.
realities
Do you
on ground.
agree?
Actually, my mom worked all through her life.
Which is maybe why you decided to work.
At all. She was very hands-on. She deliberately took a civil service job so that she would not spend too much time. She was extremely hands-on with us. She always knew what was going on with us. Every night she put us to bed. She cooked our food, everything. She was and we also had my paternal grandma who, in fact, my mom got married before going on to university. So after she had my elder sister and elder brother, she went back to school. That was when my paternal grandma came to stay to take care of them. She went to school for 6 years. Wow. Before she now had me. I was the one she had after coming back. She went on to 5 of us.
So she still lived her full life.
She still lived her full life. She schooled. Okay, and my dad was very extremely supportive. He was always the one that was telling us.
We have to go on a break. But I think what I'm hearing from all of us is that we all somewhere desire to be housewives.
No.
Because the truth is that we all agree we need to nurture. Maybe I didn't get...
Let me tell you what we're saying.
I'll try to see the difference because so far I'm hearing that we all want to be housewives. We all wish. We're not trying to balance it.
Let me tell you what we're saying.
I don't wish to be a housewife.
We're saying that we want to be able to have a life that makes us an individual, pursuing purpose.
You got to choose one.
No, you don't have to. You just need to manage your time.
That's the discussion when we come back.
Choose. You can't do both.
You can have both.
All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll hear your views also. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So still discussing about housewives. Nima's got some tweets, yeah.
Okay, Yomi Yonda says, every married woman is a housewife. Yawele, some only play the role more than others. Resourcefulness differs. Soki Samuel says, majority of career women are either having illicit affairs or looking down on their husbands.
Seriously.
Suki Samuel also says that in Saudi Arabia, everybody is a full-time housewife. And Ademola Alalade says, nothing wrong being a housewife. In fact, it's the best profession as the woman will be able to look after the home properly, the children and cooking. The husband should then compensate the wife and show her with love.
Let me come to you concerning issue of challenge, because people's challenges of becoming a housewife, they feel that either the husband will end up looking down on them, they'll be disrespected by other women, like you don't know anything, you don't even know what's Google, you don't know what is Instagram, you are clueless about the entire world, you're just shut in your home. How has it been being a housewife? What are the challenges you face as being a housewife?
I think in the early stages, the challenge I faced was financial. Right. You know, my husband was running his business. It wasn't as if we were wealthy, we're coping and everything. And we had to make a lot of sacrifices and cut things and all. And that's even with a very supportive husband. Now imagine, like she said, a husband who's financially abusive. That's why I think in our culture, a woman has to do something because we have a culture that doesn't reward women being housewives. As far as I'm concerned, being a housewife, you should be paid.
Yes.
Because
now you're talking.
You should be given an allowance
Now
that
you're
is
talking.
just what you
They pay them in Saudi Arabia.
Because the thing is, you should understand, without your backing, the man that is progressing in his career cannot
not,
do
yes,
that.
no.
I remember one time that my husband and I had an argument, and you know, he was frustrated with money, and he was like, he's doing so much and everything, I'm not helping him and all that. And I was like, oh, I'm not. Okay, fine. I went out of the house. I went to stay with a friend for 2 days, left him with the kids, left him with the house. Okay, you see whether I'm doing something or not. You understand? It's the fact that a woman can stay at home to make the home front conducive for you.
to relax.
It is a job. It is a work. They should be paid for.
I wanted to call you a fake housewife because you are not the typical housewife we know. Calm down. You are not the typical housewife we know. The housewives we know just finish their housework, lazy around, gossiping from one room. Excuse me, gossiping from one room to the other, watching all the Telemundo. Excuse me, I haven't finished. Watching all the Telemundo and all of that. But before I come to that, for me, I have the capacity to stay at home, and I'm okay. I'm not bothered about anything. My husband can handle it, okay? So, but I wanted to work because I had dreams. Yes. I had a passion to become somebody. So, but I find the balance between nurturing my kids, because I started actually as a teacher. No, I started as a teacher. So I started in the formative years of my children, so I had their time. I come back from work and do all of that. So I find a way to handle it. For me, if I can do my own thing, I will have the time to nurture my kids, take care of my home, and still be a career woman. Like
I want to injure what she said, please. You see, because she mentioned something very, very important. Because our men don't understand that nurturing the house is something that it's a job. It's a job. It's a big deal. Yeah. Let me break it down. You own those children. They're your kids. You will grow up and they will say, that's my daddy. But that woman sacrificed her entire life raising those children that you would say are your heritage. So what I'm saying is that we need to get up. More women will be willing to sacrifice their career to pay attention to the children if they understand that their men would appreciate the effort they are putting in. A lot of women are struggling to have a life after because they want to be acknowledged for who they are. I am somebody. I'm not just a mother, I'm somebody. So it is the self-actualization. Many housewives have presence, but they have proximity without being present in their house. You are close to the person, but you're not there. So you are everywhere. You are angry, you are frustrated. Your child is not getting the best out of you.
That's what I keep saying. I'll let you talk, but I'll come to respond to that. Go ahead.
Correct a misconception that, normal housewives will know gossip because women gossip everywhere. They gossip at
even in the office.
Even in the office. No, that's a statement of fact. Well, it's a statement of fact. Women, by nature, when they like gist, they gist. And gist can be anything. So, yes, it can be anything. I know housewives, and I'm someone who cannot talk down on housewives because some people are full-time housewives and they're doing my job. They're raising my kids while I'm here.
Yes.
I dare not talk down on them. And whether they gist while they're taking care of the kids, they must live life now.
I even find it a bit condescending to say, and this is not just about you, but don't throw that idea out there that women who stay home have nothing better to do. Please, can I land as well? Can I please land? Can I land, please? That's your perception, but I'm saying that let's be careful about how we present it. Because women who stay out there, like Tokwe said, there's some of them who are just there. They're really not having any impact on the children's lives anyway, so what's the point? But we generally don't find women that just sit there without nurturing. What they're doing is nurturing. They may gist while they are nurturing.
Okay, but let me respond to what Tokwe said, because I always feel that I am working.
Yes.
And I feel that I need to choose, because the truth is that even though I try to do both, it's difficult. I get home, yesterday I got home. I was exhausted. Even my intern was like, they really sucked me dry yesterday at work. I was tired. I got home, my husband comes in and says, Mariah, I have a business meeting. I think you should follow me. I just need you around. I just need your company. I'm like, I'm really, really tired. I was really exhausted. He said, now, please now. He started begging me. As a wife, my duty, I could go enter the car. I was going to change. I entered the car. I got home. I got home late around past night. My kids came to run to me. Mommy, I miss you. Stop going out. Stop going out. So you see, I'm a career woman. I wish I was home. I wish I didn't have to do that. But I am balancing, so I'm losing out something.
But you can do your own thing like she is doing her own thing. So you can
I would rather be in her shoes.
The thing about life is you can't look, you're looking at her
financially.
Life. Do you know how she got there? It took months, I'm sure it took months of frustration of just sitting down at home and feeling I wasn't anything. And then it happens early. But what I'm saying is we need to be more intentional about what we're doing. You know, so I can be, it would involve sacrifice, and most people are not willing to do that. It's not easy. And I don't want to be condescending towards people that are out there and really want to, but they have no choice based on, they can't just let it go. Yeah. But it would be horrible for anybody watching now, being a housewife, but you are not giving your children your best, and you know. You're not bothered about their food, you're not investing in their education.
So what are
there
you
are
doing
some
at home?
housewives that are doing that. They're not intentional. While you're working, balance your time. And we had somebody come here say that she had to sacrifice. She sacrificed one day.
They're saying it as
no,
if it's
Mariah,
so
we're
easy.
not asked. We're not asking. The lady said that she asked her employers that can I have one day off work during the weekday, and that they had never done it in her office before. She was our guest here. She said that, and she told them, and they said, we will take out one day each week from your salary, and that one day was for our children. It's about intentional. I will give my 100% on 4 days, but that one day is for my children all through.
Could I say something? What I would ask, because I had a consultation meeting with a very big conglomerate, and I told them once, that have you ever thought of having a rota system in all industries? Because the working mother would appreciate if you let her have the afternoon off and come in when the kids are asleep.
Yes.
The yuppie, who has nothing better to do in the morning, can do the morning run.
Yes.
If organizations started thinking
more flexible
from the human resources perspective of sharing time in a way that everybody gets to give their best.
So let me come back to our guest.
Oh, sorry about that. And everybody gets to be their best, then you can actually get to have the best of women as mothers, as career women. Everybody's happy.
Let me come to you. Do you have any dreams that you wished you had achieved or you are achieving that being a housewife is not allowing you to achieve? Have you ever dreamed of being in that corporate office environment where you're traveling abroad, you're doing things, you're in boardrooms? I mean, have you ever had those kind of big dreams, or you just be in my house?
That's what I'm achieving with Lagos Housewives. But it has opened more doors to me than even when I was working in Hilton and everything.
You found your purpose.
Yes, I found my purpose.
Can you tell us the journey? You know, because people are watching and wondering how you have 42,000 followers. How did that happen? What were you doing?
Before you answer that question, let me take this call from Italy. Go ahead, we can hear you. Go ahead.
You people are doing. Yeah, I love the good work you people are doing.
Thank you, sir.
I'm a regular watching of this program. But there's something I quickly want to say here on this topic you people are debating. You people have already said that women should be part of the change in Nigeria.
God bless
These people are saying that women should be part of the change in Nigeria. Then you people are not discussing housewives. I have spent a decade and a half in Western world right now. I have two cultures, the African culture and the Western world culture. 30% of women in Western world is only 50 or 5% are housewives. And the Western world, they work to see the future, because if you don't work here, your retirement, you cannot receive your benefit when you are retired, because that is what will sustain your old age. If tomorrow you are a full housewife, your business of your husband bankrupt, then what will you survive in your old age? Because we depend on our children to come and take care of us. That's why we're talking about housewives. No. Housewife is a thing of choice, and we should change our mindset and orientation. If you are telling women should go into politics, how can a white housewife go into politics? No.
I was going to ask him a question, but may I...
Do you agree with him?
I do not, but may I take
Nima,
a tweet to...
I want you to go ahead, please.
Andrew in Switzerland says, comparing other housewives from other countries who have become big names. We have housewives who have become prime ministers, presidents. Mrs. Thatcher is an example. Eva Peron was a housewife, the one from Argentina. Mrs. Gandhi, Mrs. Golda Meir of Israel.
So successful housewife.
Successful housewife. Being a housewife, you see the misconception is that the assumption that, you know, being a housewife makes you lazy.
You are redundant.
Yes. You're redundant. You're not productive. Right. Being a housewife does not take away your thinking capacity. You're only focusing. You're productive part-time. You're focusing on what is most important.
It might even be a
which
time
is
for
you might be the home
self-development.
front at the time. You might be done raising your kids, done being supportive to your husband when everybody has achieved that, and you start to push your career even at 40.
Right.
Okay, for me, it has to do with what you want. As a woman, you ask yourself, what do I want? Do I have a career I want to pursue? How do I balance my time and make sure that I don't lose out on my family? For me, family comes first before career. So if at some point there are certain jobs my husband can say, you can't take this job, I will listen to him.
All right, let's
but that doesn't mean I will fight
a quick
for
break.
it.
When we come back, we'll take some more calls on Twitch. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've heard different perspectives on this issue of housewife. I would like to hear your own experience in Europe on how housewives
I
are
had
treated.
a fellow EU brother call from Italy. Let me represent them. We found out that in Ireland, for instance, they make it worth your while more to be at home than to be at work, raising your kids. Even as a single parent, they have an allowance called lone parent allowance. And with the lone parent allowance, if you want to, you can work 4 hours a day and earn that extra money. Aside from that, for the parents that are doing double income, they've discovered, I mean, Oyinbo would tell you that when it comes to the time when your kids are about to start uni, if you and your husband are working, you come and sit at home. Because if you don't do it 3 years before the child needs to go to school, the benefits that the government gives them as a right will be lost. So the point I was trying to make about it is that it has to do with, you were talking about it's what you
Pause
want.
for a quick second. I have a long distance call from just.
I love your program this morning. I want to really thank the guests you invited. I'm a full housewife. Before I got married, I was working with Miney and they were paying me very well, but the work was stressful. I know that if I continue that kind of work, I cannot really raise my children the way my parents raised me. But right now, I'm a full housewife, but I'm working from home, just like the way that woman is. So I would advise that if you are married and you have kids, you have to look for a job that will make you to have time for your husband and for your children.
Okay, thank you very much, Rita. Okay, let me come to you now, bringing everything home.
Yes.
What advice would you, of course, there's a perception out there that housewives are lazy, they're not doing anything. What can you do? What advice can you give to women out there who are in that crossroad? Like, do I want to be a career woman?
Century
do I want to be a housewife?
She owns an Instagram account and makes money.
Let's have answer, please.
The 21st century housewife can be whoever she wants to be. I think that's the difference. You can, if you want to sit at home fully and not run any business, please do not allow anyone to make you question your choice. Do what is best for your home and be confident in it.
I have to pause you for a quick second. Okay. You know, the issue people have with that is that what if the husband logs out, dies? And passes on. There's an issue of you just being home.
Yes,
that happens.
That's what I'm saying. Do what works for you, what works best for you. If you know you are in a situation where if anything happens to your husband, that is lights out for you too. Please, that is not what is best for you. Don't do that. Don't do that. See, many of our men, they don't have wills. When they have wills, they don't make the women. We don't do life insurance and things like that. These are things you need to talk about. These are because you can't just sit at home and you'll be saying, God will protect my husband so that he will not die. This is life. Life happens.
You're a housewife. You don't even know how to put on generator. You cannot source. I mean, there's lots of housewives that they say.
What kind of housewife I want to be? Is the house that doesn't know how to put on generator. I want to wake up in the morning
at this stage in my life,
and be served breakfast.
At least use the key. Start kicking.
For me, it's you've not heard from me.
Confession time.
Kazim, are you there?
I don't know.
I like your program, the first time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, based on what you guys are saying, I feel the woman is the pillar of every home. Being an housewife is good, but you must improve yourself. While you are a housewife, you should be doing one or two things. You can be selling things from your home, just like that woman in light sky blue. And a lot of women have actually sacrificed a lot for every home. Without women, I don't think any home will survive. But I could remember when I was growing up, I always looked up to my mom. when I got married, I understand what my mom went through.
Right.
So I appreciate women more. But those that gossip, thank you that you raised that issue. I don't have people who gossip, but concentrate more on your children.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Kazim.
My advice, hold on, Tope. My advice is, as a woman, if the home comes first for you, find the kind of, follow a career that gives you time, that accommodates, gives you time. It's even best, it's even best you do your own thing, like she's doing. Find something, or if you cannot do your own thing, you want to work under somebody, get a job that will not take you all day and all night. Find that, hold on, find that balance. That will help you so you don't miss out on your children, you don't miss out on your home, and you can still have a life for yourself.
I want to talk very quickly. I'll come to you, lady. 1 second.
I believe that every woman should be productive.
Yes.
And you mentioned something during the break that I think you skipped you. It takes an efficient and competent person to successfully run a home.
Yes.
You plan the wake-up time, cooking, getting children ready for school to get in school in time. If you can efficiently manage that microsystem, you can definitely run a business and run a nation. But women being full-time housewife does not mean you forget your brain and develop yourself.
So it means that
as a full-time housewife, you plan yourself, you are productive, you are learning, you are growing. Even if you did not do anything for 10 years and your husband logs out or dies, because you have invested consistently also that in yourself, you will stand up and you will succeed because you've grown yourself.
You need to read too. Another suggestion. The main thing that last caller was talking about is self-development.
Totally.
Please let me speak without interrupting me, because I want to talk now. Self-development, and then a suggestion that I've seen happen many times, community mother. You're a housewife, but you're being the mother for working women. You're running the logistics of school runs.
Yes.
You're running the logistics of lessons. You're running the logistics of baby time and all that. It's almost like you're taking care of, it's a job. And people will pay you for it, but you get to be at home.
Yeah. Yes. You should clap for all housewives. Let me take this call from Molara. Our last call, then I'll come to you. Molara, are you there?
Yeah, I want to clear the lady sitting beside Morayo that not all married women gossip. I'm a full-time housewife. I get paid every month for being a full housewife. I work for
give your husband
Yes, so give him a beer.
My husband decided I should stop working because of a series of miscarriages. So now I've been a full housewife. No children yet, but I'm a full housewife. So I want to say, being a full housewife, sometimes it's boring because most times I'm only the one at home when my husband goes to the office, but you don't see me around. Now I have to indulge so many things, watching some things online, trying to get myself in a place that, okay, let me just put my hands into it. Even when I told my husband that I want to start working, like selling something online, he was like, no.
Thank you very much, Molara. We have to round up, but let me just give quickly, then I'll let our guest round up.
Molara is talking about is about your drive. I think she's used to working, and that's where she finds her drive. But I'd like to talk to the husbands now. We've been able to establish that being a housewife doesn't mean you're lazy, you're unproductive. If you know exactly what you're doing, if you're doing it for the home. So our husbands should start to learn to support. You don't need to talk down on a woman who has
give us
needs
remuneration
when she's
for
giving up her, her ability to provide for herself by taking care of your own children. We must also put together, even if it's a life insurance, so that you take care of the children also. You must provide for the children and provide a buffer for the home in case the breadwinner.
Unfortunately, we have just a minute left. So I want you to have the last words on this being a housewife. Just give a word to advice to women out there who are contemplating that decision.
If you want to be a housewife, first thing I'll tell you is, why do you want to be a housewife? Is it because other people are doing it, or you think that's the in thing now? It should be what you want. And then you should understand that being a housewife is actually not a life of luxury. When I was coming this morning, I was the first person to wake up. Everybody was still at home and it was still asleep. By the time I was leaving, I had to tell my husband, okay, this is our son's food, this is this is that, this is that. Okay, feed him when he wakes up. Don't wake him, he's still on holiday. Let him wake by himself and everything. He was like, okay. By the time I came here, I'd still called me like 2 times. Where is this? Where is that? You get it. Those are things you do. Your head is constantly calculating. Sometimes I get angry with him and I'll be like, what if I'm not around? Can't you do this? Can't you do that? But you know, it's not his thing.
For every aspect of your job, there's a professional description for it that if you were to fill a CV, a company would appreciate the words if you use the right words.
So you should, and this thing, it's how will I put it? It's a teamwork. Your husband has his part, you have your part. And one thing you should understand, if you're a housewife, it's on you to make sure everything is ready for the person that is working. He cannot be working and
come home and start cooking.
And then start doing that. It's not.
Good partnerships. You know, my own type of housewife that I dream of is the housewife that has everything. I have a chef, I have a cleaner, I have a driver.
Now.
That's what I want.
Describe it. As you say, so shall it be.
To be very rich, where I have a chef who knows the kind of food I like to eat. Continental mede, breakfast is ready, lunch ready, dinner, I have an exercise place, I have a chauffeur, I have a help cleaning. I'm like, what happened?
What would you be doing?
I'm just watching TV, eating good food, traveling. That's my dream. Father, Lord Almighty, I receive it in Jesus' name. I'm kept woman, yes. That's what I want. That's my dream. I want to be a kept woman. Don't touch me, I've tried. Please.
That's the life.
Our real housewives.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.